There you are. Nice to see you again, virtually. Meditation's coming. Just doing the usual. Checking all the streams are all working. So far, so good. Yes, I'm off to one wrong side in Instagram. How's Facebook? No, Facebook. It's always Facebook, isn't it? Nearly there. Meditation's coming. Oh, this is looking promising. All right, nearly there. Nearly there. One sec. I think we have it. Right. Good. All good. How are you? How's the day going? Good, I hope. It's all right if it's not. You know, every day is not going to be brilliant, but I hope it's good. I hope it's going well for you. We're going to do a bit of meditation. This isn't a class now. It's just a chance to meditate together. It's part of the further emergence work I do. I'll explain all about that when we're finished the meditation. So if you're experienced at meditation, that's brilliant. Can you hang on for a minute while I explain what I do, just for the benefit of people who are new to meditation? There's lots of different styles of meditation. This is what I do, and I've been doing it for years. For me, it starts with why I would meditate, because if I didn't have a good reason, I wouldn't be doing it all these years. I'm trying to connect to a part of myself that I connect to every night when I'm asleep. Not the dreaming bit, the bit after dreaming, deep dreamless sleep. You know, so I'm dreaming and then I drop out the bottom of dreaming into deep dreamless sleep, where I have no thoughts, no memories, no personality, no feelings, no body, no country, no stories, no house, no nothing. I don't even have me when I'm in that place, because I sort of cease to exist, certainly in the way that I normally register my existence, which when I put it all together like that, that sounds awful. Like, that sounds like death. Yet I love going to sleep, and when I wake up in the morning I feel refreshed. So some part of me knows that's a good place, and that's the place I want to go to when I meditate. I just want to do it consciously. So straight away, don't try this lying down. If you're new to meditation, don't lie down. You'll fall asleep, and if you don't fall asleep, you'll battle sleep, both of which are kind of counter to what the point is. So yeah, sit up. You can sit in the lotus position if you like, or I'm just sitting in a chair. If you're going to sit in a chair, don't sit in a super comfy armchair, or you'll just be into the sleep thing again. So as I said, there's no... my mind can't seem to get to this place. So I have to figure out something with my mind. I have to work out something with it. I have to kind of part the curtains of my mind. I like to think of it like that. So what I do is I just make an arrangement with my mind where I say, hey, can you just not think for the next 15 minutes because I want to meditate? And now at this stage my mind is on board for that, and it's like, yep, okay, we've been through this enough times, that's fine. Now if you're new to meditation, your mind will be on board for it because it's a new thing, and minds like new things. If down the track you have trouble kind of keeping up the practice, if you wanted to start a practice of meditation and 20 meditations in, your mind is like, oh God, I hate this, it's so boring, then you probably need to give your mind some of the sorts of things that minds like to get it on board. You know, watch some videos about meditation, read some books. Minds like thoughts, they like ideas, they like concepts, so give your mind that sort of thing so your mind can be on board. So my mind is on board, good. Next thing is to stop thinking. That is actually easier than it sounds, because regardless of what I'm thinking about, which would be the content of my thoughts, the structure of my thought is always the same. It's always pictures and sound. So if I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound, that's it. I'm not thinking. And as soon as I do that, I'm into the practice of meditation. Now, the practice of meditation runs parallel to the intention of meditation. So my intention is to go to this deep, mysterious, still, calm. I'm just trying to think of all the words that I use to describe meditation. Zen-like, peaceful, all that, right? That's my intention. I want to go to that place. And then the practice runs right beside it together. And it starts as soon as I stop thinking. And it pretty much goes, I stop thinking, I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound. And a little bit of time passes and I discover that I'm thinking again. I go, oh, I'm thinking again. Turn off the pictures, turn off the sound. I bring myself back to not thinking. Some more time passes. I discover I'm thinking again. Oh, thinking again. Turn off the pictures, turn off the sound. Come back to not thinking again. Some more time passes. I discover I'm thinking again. Oh, thinking again. Turn off the pictures, turn off the sound. Bring myself back to not thinking, and so on. Every time I discover I'm thinking, I bring myself back to not thinking. That's the practice of meditation. And it's important to know how that works, because it's easy to get the idea that to meditate correctly, your mind is like a lake and there shouldn't be a ripple of thought on it. And if you're doing, that's not true. It's fine to be thinking. There's nothing wrong with it. Your intention, of course, is to go to this place and to be there for the whole 15 minutes. But if you discover you're thinking, that's fine as well. The two go together in a sort of a dance. Sometimes you'll be very deep and still, and other times you'll be discovering your thinking. And both are powerful. It's powerful when you discover when you're very deep and still and in that place. But it's also very powerful when you discover that you're thinking. It's just not as obvious, the power bit. Because what happens is, if you're like me, the sorts of things that you think about are to do with you. What did I do that for? What am I going to do about that other thing? Why did that person say that to me? And so on. Now, if I'm in the middle of one of those thoughts and I'm in the middle of meditation and I go, oh, I'm thinking, turn off the pictures, turn off the sound. What I'm saying to myself indirectly is, you know that thought that you were just having, that you thought was you and you were it? Well, you just made that disappear. So that thought is obviously not you. In fact, all your thoughts are not you. You're something else. That's very powerful. And then the fact that you do that repeatedly is very powerful as well. So there's no set amount of times that you should be thinking. You should be catching yourself thinking or discovering that you're thinking to bring yourself back. There's no right amount. It changes as well from day to day and hour to hour. If you meditate in the morning and you meditate in the afternoon, it'll be different. The main thing is, and all you have to do is, every time you discover that you're thinking, bring yourself back to not thinking, and you'll be doing great. Now, while all that is going on, I'm also letting go of tension in my body. And I have a system for that. I scan my body from my head down to my feet and back up again, very slowly, very gently. And anywhere I find tension, I let it go. And I use my out breath to let it go, because it's very natural to just breathe it away. It's also a good way of bringing my awareness to my breathing, because it's quite easy to hold your breath in meditation or to stop breathing altogether. So using the out breath to let go of tension is useful for that. Also, as I'm scanning my body, I'm paying a little bit more attention to areas that go across, structures that go across or transverse in my body, because mostly my body runs longitudinally, but anywhere that goes across has a tendency to accumulate tension. I think of it as a little bit like a log across a stream. It picks up the twigs and the branches and anything that's coming down the stream, except in my body's case, it's tension. So I'm paying particular attention to my eyes, my jaw, my tongue, the base of my neck, my shoulder girdle, all my joints, because they're all transverse sites as well. So shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers, my heart area, my respiratory diaphragm, all my intestines, my pelvic floor, my hips, my knees, my ankles, and my toes. Having a nice quiet room is really helpful when you're starting out in meditation, because as soon as you close your eyes, your hearing is going to amplify, and one of the things that triggers thoughts is noise. So the quieter the room, the best chance you'll be giving your mind. And then the other thing I do to help my mind have less things to think about is I set a timer for how long I'm going to meditate for. Now I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes, but I'd encourage you to set yours for shorter if you're new to meditation. Set it for 5 minutes and then repeat that 3 times. Because 15 minutes is a long time when you're not used to it. I know that sounds crazy, but it is. If you go for 15 minutes and this is your first time, even with the timer, around the 7 or 8 minute mark, your mind is going to kick in and go, you didn't turn the timer on. This is way longer than 15 minutes or something like that. Okay, just let me check now. Are there any questions or anything? No, there's lots of people saying hello. Grant. Okay. Off we go into the mystery. Now, if you've gone very deeply inside and you feel like you've gone very deeply inside, take a bit of time before you come back from, to come back from that before you open your eyes. Or if you feel like you can hold the inner space and the outer space, you can just open your eyes. And if when you do that you feel like you've lost contact with the inner space, you can just close your eyes again. Yeah, there it is. And you can open your eyes. Go, no, lost again. Close your eyes. You can sort of use your eyes like a valve to balance the inner space and the outer space. So as I said at the beginning, these meditations that I do are part of Further Emergence. Further Emergence is to do with growth, inner growth, consciousness growth, spiritual growth, awareness growth, that sort of thing. Because when your body is growing, as a child, and then you're an adolescent, and then when you get to be an adult, your body kind of stops growing. But you keep growing on the inside for the rest of your life. And just like when your body was growing, you might have gone through periods of accelerated growth, what are kind of called growth spurts. The same happens on the inside. And they continue for the rest of your life as well. And just like when you were going through a growth spurt as a kid, it could be painful and difficult, but natural. It's not like you were brought to the doctor because you had growing pains, hopefully. And similarly, growth spurts on the inside, or internal growth spurts, or what I call further emergence, they can be painful, difficult as well. And they can be misidentified as something that's not natural or something that's wrong. And there's a lot of inner growth going on at the moment as well. But how you kind of tell the normal difference, because we're always growing, but when it goes through this accelerated period, it can sort of present in lots of different ways. It can feel like things are either speeding up, like say I'm changing really fast on the inside, or I'm stuck. I can feel like I'm stuck, which sort of feels like there's a pressure building up. It can manifest as physical symptoms. You can get all sorts of strange symptoms as a result of further emergence or these inner growth spurts. You can generally feel a bit disoriented because you're going to go from one day everything looks a certain way, and then the next day everything looks different. People have described it to me as, I just didn't feel like I fit in my life anymore, or I couldn't recognize myself in my life anymore. You can go from everybody gets me and I get everybody to nobody gets me and I don't really get anybody else as well. So it can be a bit isolating. And there's lots of other ways that it can manifest itself. So I've been through it myself loads of times, and I've helped lots of people through it as well. So these meditations are part of that to sort of help, because the more familiar you are with your inner space, the easier it is to navigate these difficult growth spurts. I have a Zoom group as well. That's every Friday, and that's a chance to do some more in-depth meditation, to see other people and go, oh, okay, it's not just me. This is a thing. Other people are going through it as well. There's questions and answers. I've just started a podcast as well that's based on those Zoom groups. It's the sort of audio from those Zoom groups. And I see people one-to-one as well. So the one-to-one sessions, like today is the day would have seen people. So those kind of sessions involve a lot of meditation for me. And they're a combination of what I kind of think of it as in front of the scene, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes work. So the in front of the scenes bit is talking and kind of sharing back and forth about the process. And then the behind the scenes stuff is more energetic. It's more energetic work. It's distance work. I work with the person distance, and that helps with the process as well. So if that resonates with you, if that rings a little bell for you, follow along on whatever way you're looking at this, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Do the thing, whatever it is. Subscribe, like, follow, so you can kind of keep in touch with it. And then you can also go to the website and read about it, subscribe to the podcast, all that sort of stuff as well. Oh, it's furtheremergence.com. Did I say that? Okay, so thanks very much for meditating with me, and see you tomorrow for some more meditation. Bye.